Hello and welcome everyone. Today we're at the New Brunswick Roofing Contractors Association and their roofing training center. This organization has been the voice of the roofing industry for over 30 years. We're down here in St. John and we're here to learn a little bit about the school, take a tour of their mock-ups, get a little bit of testimonial from the students and take some questions and answers. So now we're going to go in and meet Rita and she'll tell us a little bit about the New Brunswick Roofing Contractors Association Training Center. Oh, I'm here with Rita. And Rita, I would like for you to tell us a little bit about your role at the New Brunswick Roofing Contractors Association. Can you tell us a little bit about the school and your organization and how this school came to be from the organization's creation?
Apprentices have the proper training and education. So it used to be at NBCC and they decided they wanted to have more impact. So they bought this building in 2016 and started doing the apprenticeship program here.
Thank you. Tell us a little bit about what is required to be a roofing apprentice.
Well, you would, as an employee, you would sign up as an apprentice then. You would need to work about 1,800 hours before you can start your block one. So you would be employed with a contractor, work for about a year, and then you would start block one.
Can you tell us a little bit about the education requirements to come to school here?
Well, having a high school diploma or a GED is great. If not, you would have to be signed in as a mature student and do an exam. You have to pass that exam for you to register.
Thank you. Can you tell us about the requirements and how, about the connection to the apprenticeship office and how that goes about in registering with them?
Well, there's an apprenticeship office in various cities like Fredericton, Moncton, St. John. You could find them right through our website at nbrca.ca, or you can contact us and we can assist you.
Thank you. Now, it's my understanding that the Roofing Training Center is connected to NBCC. So you tell us a little bit about that connection.
Well, we're under the NBCC umbrella, where the classes used to be at their facility, but now that we have our facility, we still kind of register under NBCC. So an apprentice would still get an NBCC student number. They would still fill out the registration forms from NBCC, but they would be doing the classes here.
Thank you. Can you tell us a little bit about the hours that are required, like how many blocks are and the hours required for each block?
There's 3 blocks, and you need about 1,800 hours for each block. So at the end of it, you would have 54.
Thank you. So it's my understanding when a student wants to be an apprentice, they have to have a journey person. So tell us a little bit about a journey person, how they're connected, and the booklet, things like that.
Well, that's a great question, because when you sign up to be an apprentice and you have to work 1,800 hours between each block, you have a progress hour book. And that book wants you to try to educate yourself and train yourself in various aspects of the roofing trade. And as you're learning that, you would have a journeyman, a red seal person, that would sign off saying, hey, yeah, they did this or they were shown this, and that will help them for the next block and what they're learning.
Thank you. Now, obviously, to be involved in Red Seal roofing, and you have to find a journey person, you have members, and they are so that you can access some of your members to the website. And I will mention the website for anybody that's interested, is nbrca.ca. Again, that website is nbrca.ca. So tell us about your members and your website and how people could access that.
Just easily going onto our website under the membership. You can see all of the members, the contractors, and you can actually go in any contractor that is hiring. You can go right into their recruitment page and put an application in directly.
Thank you. Can you tell us about the avenues to support a student to attend your school? Let's talk about how contractors would support their students coming here to go to school.
Well, I can't speak for all contractors, but the majority of them do assist their employees in various ways. Some might help out with fuel, hotels, maybe some allowance, depending on where they live and the contractor. They do the best to support their employee as an apprentice.
Thank you. Can you also tell us about the incentives to attend school through the apprenticeship branch as well?
Again, depending on where you live, you can get some additional help if you childcare, fuel allowance, hotel allowance, meals. Again, depending on how far you have to travel, that would depend on what your allowance can be.
So can you tell us about the other career paths? It's not just about Red Seal Roofing. It's my understanding there's other career paths that students can pursue after going to school here.
Once you become a Red Seal, you actually have quite a bit of avenues that you can go down. You can become a foreman, a supervisor, you can own your own company, mentoring, tutoring, and then you can do an observer where you would be a third party and inspecting the roofs for the owners.
Thank you. So I think at this time, we're going to take a little trip in to take a look at the mock-up. So Rita, if you don't mind leaving this in there, we'll go take a look. Good, perfect.
It's weird.
Stop recording.
If you enjoy working with your hands and outside, especially with heights, you're beautiful.
Awesome. So tell us about high school education requirements and what it takes to, I guess, just any education requirements to come to the Roofing Training Center.
Well, you should have your high school diploma or GED. It's very important to be able to have your basic fundamentals of math and comprehending of reading skills. You can sign in as a mature student. The other thing is, in high school, you can sign up to be a pre-apprentice, which will allow you to start obtaining your hours for when you become an apprentice working under a contractor.
Okay. So tell us about the connection to NBCC. So is this a private school? How do students, and like I said, I know it's connected to NBCC a little bit. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, we are definitely under the umbrella of NBCC. So when you come in to do your block, you actually fill out an NBCC registration. So they give you a student number and you pay tuition to NBCC. We work under them.
So tell us about the hours required for each block. Like talk to us a little bit about the blocks, how many hours are required, a little bit of the details about that.
Okay. You can sign up for, like I said, a pre-apprentice or an apprentice anytime. But before you can actually attend block 1, you have to have 1,800 hours. They want you to be able to have some sort of experience as a roofer so you can understand what you're learning. You're in class for block 1 in 7 weeks, and then you go back to the work field for another 1,800 hours. What they call, there's a progress book, and you take that with you when you become an apprentice, and you work directly under a Red Seal. So what happens is you're going to be learning different tasks, and the Red Seal will sign off saying, yes, you have experience and you've done that. Then you go back into your block 2, again for 6 weeks. get 1,800 hours before you can go into block 2. And then you do the same thing, continue with your progress hour work until block 3. By the time you get to block 3, you need 5,400 hours to be able to do your block 3 exam.
Thank you. Tell us about Red Seal Journey Person and how you have to be connected to them and about signing off on the booklet, things like that.
Well, with the progress hour work, like I was just saying, you need to be able to have some experience because you're only in class, and the class is a mixture of classroom and shop. So you only get a small idea of what each category does. The Red Seal actually is somebody who's already done this. They've already done their exam. They know all these areas that an apprentice needs to learn. So they're going to be mentoring that apprentice. They're going to show you techniques, explain to you, and then they're going to sign off saying, yeah, this apprentice has done that. So it's very important to have, to work for a company that has a Red Seal in their employment. So let's
talk about that a little bit. The members, and I know you have some members that are associated with your training center here. And let's talk a little bit about your website, the nbrca.ca. I'll say that again, nbrca.ca. So let's talk a little bit about them and how people can access the members on your website.
Well, you can go right to the website under the membership program. You can see all of our members and each of our contractors. If they have a section for an HR for recruitment, we actually have a link right there. So you can find out all kinds of information about our contractors, about apprenticeship, about additional training opportunities that we offer.
Awesome. Tell us about how the employers that are on your website, the employers, how they support students to attend your school, because I know there's some supports there.
We're very lucky with the members with the NBCC. Not only do they support their employees by, sometimes assisting with gas, sometimes assisting with hotels, depending on where they're at, but also as a whole, our association provides them a jacket at the end of the block 3. It's a really nice Red Seal jackets. Congratulations for all their hard work. They make sure that they're a part of any new technology to make sure that their employees are aware of it. They work with the manufacturers to do ongoing training. So our contractors really put a lot of effort in providing the apprentice all the information.
Awesome. So can you tell us a bit about, there's incentives as well through the AOC, the apprenticeship branch. Can you tell us about the incentives there?
Depending on where you live, what region you live in, you can get some help with gas, hotel, food, books, because you have to travel. If you're a month and you have to travel here, so they're going to help you with some of that cost, so it's not such a big burden. The good thing about being an apprentice, you're able to work and study, and when you're all done, you're not going to have a huge bill. The good thing is with tuition, each block it's about $510. That can change in time, but when you pass, you're going to get that money back from AOC.
Thank you. I know it's like I said, we talk about coming to the roofing training center to be a Red Seal roofer, but my understanding is there's some other opportunities as well, other career paths after coming to the school and being training and going through the different blocks to become a Red Seal roofer. So what are some of those other opportunities?
Well, I mean, you take your Red Seal, you're a roofer for a long time, but you might want to end up being a foreman, a supervisor, a mentor, a tutor for blocks to help other apprentices. The other thing is you might want to be an owner, have your own company. You could become an observer. An observer is a third party that actually is hired by an owner to observe a roofer's work to make sure that they're following the specs. There's a wide variety that you can do with this course.
Thank you very much. So at this time, actually, I'd like to thank you very much, Rita, for all that information. We're actually now going to make our way in to meet Edgar LeBlanc, who is the instructor here. And he's going to take us through some mock-ups. So we're going to actually get to see the students in action here and go spend the next 15 minutes or so looking at all the different skills they learn here. So let's head in there. Excellent. So this is Edgar LeBlanc. Edgar, we're here to take a little bit of a tour of the school. And what I'd like to do is first start with telling us a little bit about yourself, Edgar.
Hi, my name is Edgar LeBlanc. I'm from Bucktouche, just outside of Moncton there, heading north. I'm a red seal roofer. Been in the trade quite a few years. I became a red seal in 2006. I also did quite a different other trades before that, and I'm also now a registered roof observer. So now I do roof inspection. I got a firm that does roof inspection, and I'm here teaching during the winter time.
Perfect. So where do you want to head first, Edgar? What mock-up do we want to go to first?
Maybe we can go to mock-up 1 right here. This mock-up is torch owned, so 2-ply modified. What the guys are doing, this is an uninsulated deck, so it was just a wood deck underneath. And he's torching his base sheet onto the membrane or substrate or whatever that you would have on. It's hot apply with torch, and then after that there will be torching a cap sheet that's right behind you here on the ground. The base sheet itself doesn't have any UV protection, so you need to torch a cap sheet over top so you have your UV protection. As you can see, it's loud, and one thing that you need, always have one fire extinguisher per torch on the roof at all times. And whenever we are done, it's a minimum of 1 hour fire watch on every site. But if you're on certain sites, you could have 2 or some places even 4-hour fire watch before you can leave site. And you have paperwork to sign up and forms to fill out for your fire watch and everything. So you're getting pretty strict with that.
Excellent. So you say are we going to add this other piece afterwards?
Yeah, once they're done here, then they'll torch. So you always want to stagger your side labs, eh? So they started with half a roll, now they're putting a full roll. When they come with the cap sheet, they'll start with a full roll, and then the side lab will be staggered by a minimum of 12 inches.
Excellent.
Yeah.
You want to come back to these guys?
Sure, we can go over to the single ply, and then we'll come back and see what the cap sheet is.
Perfect.
So on mock-up number 2, this is a single ply system instead, like thermoplastic, thermoset. They're both different. So on the other one, we had seen they were putting down the base sheet, and after they'll be doing cap sheet. This one here, there's only one ply. So what he's doing there is using a probe to check his seam to make sure, but even that little bit that went back in, can you put it in? Does that? Water and ice will start to go underneath, and will start to laminate your side lab. So even that's got to be repaired before they walk away. So this one here, they would use a Leister gun. So it's hot air, very hot. Hot air Leister gun. They just use, so you don't have any claims. So now for insurance purpose, stuff like that, old building, downtown areas, they're going with lots of single ply membrane, hot apply, fully adhered system, mechanically fastened, where they don't have any open claim.
Good. We're gonna get them to see. We're gonna get to see them using that.
Yeah, they're going to be using that right now. And when he
Perfect.
uses that, he also has his rubber roller.
Perfect.
So
Let's see what you're doing here.
side blast and then last anything will have to be sealed just like that. It's nice and clean. You go home at the end of the day just like that, not like you used to be with your tar and asphalt and gravel and stuff like that.
Yeah, cool. That should be good. Now we take the probe. You want to throw me that probe? Thank you. Oh, that part is not good. I'll have to go back. And slide a little pressure. Oh, little piece there. That seal. Our little snap on it needs to be done again. get in that corner there. Too tight.
That's all right.
Too tight there.
All right, we're heading back over here.
Yeah, so here he's just sealing his side lap. They got this piece cut now. So they'll be setting up for their MR.
You do. Other than that, you're doing fine. Yeah. No, you're doing fine. You're doing good. We're good.
All right, so Edgar, we're going to head to. They're gonna do a.
So now they're going to roll from both ends. You're going to start torching in the middle, and they will have. So that will be your finished product. So you want to make sure you don't step on it when it's hot. You'll have footprints and you'll leave marks behind, and that will also take away from your UV protection.
Excellent.
So
they're just gonna roll it back here, and then
roll
we're
it
gonna.
back to the middle, and there'll be 2 torques going on each side, and that's how they go for the whole day. Just keep going torching. You have a couple of guys setting and a couple of guys torching.
Got her. Oh, I see what they're doing here. Okay.
Yeah. So, and you see that his side lap is staggered. So the middle lap right here. So for water to go in, she would have to come in from that side lap or here, travel all the way. Then we got 3-inch overlap.
Yep.
Would have to go back in before. So you always want that staggered.
Excellent.
Never any reverse lap.
All right. We can see some torch work here. This is the finished layer that's on top, right?
Yep, that's finished and everything right there. So they will have install a metal cap flashing before the cap sheet membrane is installed.
Okay.
As we have on this side here on the single ply, we already put the metal flashing on the other one. You'll have a look on the back here. The asphalt is melting and where the roll meets the field, you can see that the asphalt is rolling with his roll, so you know that you can see it change color, but then it cannot. If it goes too slow, it will overheat it and burn right through the granule. So he's got to have a constant flow, but he wants that asphalt to be rolling as he's unrolling.
Good.
And also tools like when they're cutting the base sheet and stuff like that, then they use a hook blade. But the guys that are working on single ply, they're using scissors. All
right.
And as you see here, we noticed a deficiency, so he would have marked that out. He doesn't do it right away. He would mark it for at the end of the day, it's got to be done.
Interesting. Okay. So mark the deficiencies.
What's that?
Mark their deficiencies.
Yes, as you're going, if you don't do it right away, you have to mark it if you notice anything. But before, all seam on the roof will be probed 100% right across. If it's single ply, you have 1 chance, 3-inch side lap, so everything's got to be probed.
All right. You want to head? Let's head over to the other mock up here.
Sure,
Take a
we
look.
have
See what's going over there.
Third mock-up down here. So on this one here, they're doing some wood shingles. So the first guy out there, he's putting his starter strip the same as you would do on a 3-in-1 shingle. So the first row you have 2 layers of shingle, and he's making sure that he's got an 1.5-inch overhang, so water doesn't run down your fascia. So he's got his overhang, and then the other one is putting his first course. Got to be side line, got to be staggered minimum of 1.5 inches. And then we're having a 1/4-inch gap in between every shingle to make sure when they expand with the water and moisture and stuff like that. And then we have Taylor down here. She's got a gauge on her shingler sachet. So she used the gauge as the exposure. She got that preset. So it gives her the exposure that the shingle will need. So when she goes to the second one, she'll use her exposure again here, and it'll give her where she needs to come across.
Awesome. Yeah.
But when you're doing stuff like that, it's very important to have your proper exposure, proper gap, and stuff like that. But you've seen them on old farmhouse that's been installed 40, 50 years ago. It still has some wood shingles on the roof or siding. Yep. So if they're properly installed and they've been taken care of, they will last quite a long time.
A couple questions for you since we're just watching them do this. Yeah. Is there any training with steel roofing here? No.
We cover it. We cover the steel. We have a bender. We bend some metal flashing. We do stuff like that. It is on the IV test. It is on the block exam and stuff like that. So I still just use the same steel roof that I got here, and we will install a couple of sheets of metal flashing, put our strapping or metal roofing, strapping, whatever we need to do. But
there's no slate roofing done in this province, is there?
No. When the national committee gets together, we put a percentage of questions that we want and what we cover in our province. We still have to cover it because it's a red seal that's across Canada. But when it comes to the exam, New Brunswick puts 0%. So that means we don't want any, but they go by the national average. So with the national average, we might have two questions on the exam and pertaining to slate or concrete tiles and stuff like that. Yeah.
There you go. All right, let's go on over here. We'll take a look over here. What's going on at this last setup?
This is mock-up number 4. So on this one, we had a steel deck instead of a wood deck. Come around this side.
I'm trying not to hurt myself here.
This would be a typical setup that we would have on quite a few of the roofs. It's a swing boom, so we just use that to hoist material up to the roof and down back on the ground and stuff like that. So the guys will come in on the first day. Sometimes they'll have a boom truck. Boom truck will hoist everything major up to the roof and stuff like that. And once he's gone, then you need some sort of equipment to hoist up and down. So he would just have that set up on the roof edge. That's how you will be moving your stuff in and out during sometimes they set up for a month on the same project, so they want to be sure they can move their material. And like I was saying, this one, if you look at the edge, it would be a steel deck. So I have a steel deck. Anytime we have a steel deck, we need plywood, substrate underneath any woodwork, parapet walls and stuff like that. And after that, I have a deck deck covering. So to make sure that the material will stand the weight of the food.
Excellent.
So you always have counterweight in the back. You're not allowed to use any roofing material. Oh, interesting. Because if you use roofing material, he's short one roll. He'll grab it there because it's closer to him than walking across. And then the other guy needs another roll.
Yeah.
And then he goes to lower stuff, and there's only one roll left. You don't have enough weight, and everything goes over the edge. So.
All right. So I think we're going to meet with Mark and Taylor now, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
Perfect. We'll take them inside and have a little chat about what they do.
As you see here also, they have bent their metal flashing put along the roof edge. We have a bender here, we bend our own metal, and that's part of the roofing trade also. This one also, they have done CAD metal flashing on that one.
Yes, you'd shown me over here.
Yeah.
We have a metal brake over here, right?
Yes, we do.
Yep, here's our metal brake, right?
Yeah, and that's an industrial size one. When we first started, they were talking about just getting a vendor for the siding guys and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And the owners said no, said we want to have the real thing that they would
Yeah.
have in our shop.
So,
It's solid and sturdy, and they can use it for years. And
so metal shaping, metal bending is a part of the trade.
exactly, so we do all
They're
our
skilled.
part. Yeah. So if you want to do a metal cricket behind a chimney or something, they can bend it on that and do a cap or gravel stomp or whatever they need to bend for their.
Perfect. Well, let's head inside with Taylor and Mark, and we'll ask them a couple of questions here. All right. So I have Taylor and Mark, who are in block 2, correct? Awesome, block 2 for Red Seal. So actually just want to chat with let's start with Taylor. Taylor, let's tell us about your journey becoming a Red Seal roofer. So just tell us a little bit about your journey.
Well, basically, I always wanted to get into something with the trades. Kind of went back and forth for a little bit, worked minimum wage jobs for a bit. Then I finally got an opportunity through the St. John Tool Library. And then they put me on to Dad Roofing, and I've been there for 3 years. And
Perfect.
I love it.
I'm going to ask the same question to you, Mark. So how'd you end up becoming a Red Seal roofer?
A lot of the same as Taylor, just trying out different things and figuring out a bit later in life that school wasn't really for me, like sitting all the time in class. So this way I can work and make money.
Excellent. So, sorry, keep going, Mark. All right, you keep going. So actually, Mark, I'll come back to you. Let's talk about, what do you like about the job? And, let's be honest with the students as well. What are some challenges? What do you like about the job?
I like the workout. I like it pays really well. It's really good exercise. You're outdoors, and like in the winter, that's not so great all the time. But you're still outdoors, and you get the sunshine all day, and you're not stuck indoors.
I'm not stuck indoors. Same question to you, Taylor. So it's likes and maybe, and again, like I said, if there's some challenges as well, we can talk about those.
So basically, pretty much the same. Like, I love being outdoors, always have. Great exercise, in the best shape of my life, honestly, as short as I am, but I do what I can. And no, it's a very rewarding when you get there and you see the condition of like what the roof was, and then you look at the finished product, you're like, oh, I was a part of that. So it's awesome. It's
Sense of accomplishment.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. And you actually get it with your own hands. So perfect.
So Edgar, I'm going to come to you. So, we just chatted with 2 apprentices here. So what are some skills that, obviously there's some skills that you're looking for specifically to the roofing trade, but what are some other skills that you're looking for in young apprentices when they come to the school here?
Well, workmanship is very important. You got to be able to get up in the morning and work with your hand. Like they say, it's hard work, it's rewarding and everything. But everybody's different. Everybody's not the same. And when they come in here, I can spot it right away. And some people will never be made to be a foreman or a lead hand, and that's good. We have some real good roofers that will be real good roofers for 15 years, and some guys that will still like to be doing their labor job. But you want to make sure that you're able to pull your weight and do your stuff, your hands-on. And like they said, the element being in the sun when it's plus 25, it's not that easy. But you get a good suntan. But when you go home at the end of the day, they're getting paid pretty good, and it's getting better and better. And work is work, but you need to be able to work in groups, have people working together all the time, and they won't be carrying you for too long. So if you're not able to do your part, you'll be out.
Rita, I'm asking you to join us on over here. So at this point, I'm just gonna get you kind of squeeze together here, actually, because I got to back up even further. So yeah, get all four of you in your picture. So I'm gonna go to the chat here, and I'm gonna ask, hopefully, some questions. So let's see what we have for questions here. So if classrooms, anybody, if you don't mind, a question for Edgar, Rita, Mark, Taylor. Just going to wait a few minutes. Please ask the questions away. It would be much appreciated. Don't see any questions from students. We'll just wait a few more minutes here. Maybe they're typing them in on their computer here to ask a couple questions. Ah, there's a question. What's the average pay for roofers, and is there a need for them in New Brunswick? There's the first question from Jason. Who wants to tackle that one? Perfect.
I don't know what the average is. It is pretty high, I would assume. But every company is active.
Every company's active looking for roofers. Yeah.
High demand in every level, block 1, 2, and 3, but they'll start you probably around $18 an hour.
Yeah.
As a labor.
Okay, that's a great answer. So about 18.
If you're doing your block, you're getting an average of at least $2 an hour raise per block per year.
Okay.
So by the time you do your 3 blocks or 5,400 hour, the rate is $32 an hour.
All right.
So within 4 years, your friends are still in university, you're making $30 an hour, $70,000 a year.
Next question. What age can you start? What age can you start into this?
At 16, most of the contractor will take you. I had some kids from high school working a summer job this summer.
So they started 16 working with a contractor. Yep.
Contractor for their summer vacation. They were on the roof summer vacation, and then they would go back to play hockey, and they would be in good shape for the winter. But last year at one of the high school that we put on their roofing course, 3 of them were working roofing this summer in Mountain.
Perfect. Yeah. And the hours they get, I'm just going to ask this question: is hours they bank as long as they register, they can be built towards the. Is that correct? Am I understand?
Apprenticeship, yeah.
Yep.
They can sign up as a pre-apprentice with their high school.
So they were a couple of summers, and then we start at block 1 after they graduate. Those hours would count.
How many years can one expect to take to get to the Red Seal qualification as a Red Seal roofer? Like how many years from start to finish?
Yeah.
3 years.
Mm-hmm.
3 full years?
Yeah.
3 years
Yep.
at 1,800 hours. You're at 5,400. You're in. You got your hours.
So 1,800 hours per block. Per year. So you got to work full time, obviously. Yep.
Basically.
Yep.
So worst case, 4 year, you would have your block and your hours. And so if you work your first, then come and do first year, and then come and start your blocks. Within 4 years, you would be a Red Seal.
How important is teamwork and chemistry on your work crews?
You got to be able to work with people.
Good. You have to be able to work with people. I love that answer.
You got to be able to take it and give it also, because they like to have fun and play around sometimes. Nothing serious, but they're always joking and they're having fun on the roof. So.
Here's a great question. So they want to talk about safety measures that are in place for roofers. So let's talk about some of the safety measures. Maybe perhaps, I don't know if it changes based on the height of a roof or things like that, what has to be around the exterior. I have a little bit of an idea, but I'd love to hear from you folks. What are some of the safety measures that are in place?
Guardrails usually around the whole perimeter of the roof. Barring that, you have harness with lanyard and rope, and when you don't have like a fall restriction, you're tied off, and there's no danger of falling.
Perfect. And actually, here's a great question that goes along with the safety. So like if like other certifications, i.e. for fall arrest, is that something, of course, that's provided outside, or during the school, at the school here? Like, is there additional other pieces of safety or certifications you require?
We don't do the safety, so every contractor does their own safety.
Great answer.
We
Okay.
supply the torch safe program.
Torch safe program.
So
Yep.
if the guys that were torching there, they need to have a torch safe card to be torching on site.
And they get that here or? Okay.
Block one, we certified them, we do the torch safe program and everything, so then they can start doing a bit of torching when they're going back to their employer. And every 3 years or 2 years, they would go back, like Jamie would go to the contractor that needs, he would call and say, okay, well, I got 10 guys that need to be recertified. They would go on site and they would recertify them.
Rita, question to you. I think you talked about this at the beginning. Different job positions. Obviously, you have red seal roofer, but what are some other positions again? Just kind of recap those.
Foreman, supervisor, you could be an observer, you can work in the design areas. There's a wide variety that you can grow with having a red seal.
Thank you. I don't see any other questions popping up. We're at 1:58. I said this would end at about 2 o'clock. So actually at this point, I would like to say thank you to the New Brunswick Roofing Contractors Association Training Center, and specifically Taylor, Mark, Rita, and Edgar for taking us a little bit of a tour of your facility and helping the students of New Brunswick learn a little bit more about this trade that's required in the province. Thank you very much.